So in today's video, we are going to be talking about what chapter could potentially come out in the 6th year anniversary stream. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's jump on into it. Kings and queens, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. We're back. It's been 2 weeks since we're gone. All the updates are in my Discord. Long story short, just been relaxing, enjoying myself, and now we're ready to make some videos. We're also live today on Twitch. Make sure you guys do come on out. Link will be in the description. I promise I'll be trying to stream for a little bit more. But yeah. Today, we are going to be talking about what is more than likely to come out for the anniversary stream. We got this right in the past, so I think it's time that we toss our hat in the ring again. We know that more than likely in this coming week or the week after that, we're going to be seeing the brand new PTB with the Ring chapter coming out, so that's going to be a lot of fun, which means there's only one more chapter to go, and that is the anniversary chapter. So who exactly are the front runners? Let's jump on into it. So obviously the first person that we need to talk about on the list that's likely to come on in is Jason. We know that DBD needs to top all of the other events that they have done, all the other DLCs that is. Obviously we had Resident Evil, we had Silent Hill, we nailed those on the head with speculation, so now it's time to aim, and anything bigger than that, in my opinion, it has to be like really groundbreaking. Jason is one of those killers that's up on that list. We know that the lawsuit has gotten a little less complex now that there finally is a settlement. We even had Matthew Cote's reaction to this on our interview with him right when this exactly happened. So I'm sure the phone was picked up and people were calling, and you never know, something like this could have went down and could happen. Jason coming into the game would put the cherry on top for DBD having pretty much all of the iconic killers. As someone myself, ironically, that doesn't watch a lot of horror things or seen a lot of slasher movies, when I think of things like that, I think of Freddy, and I think of Myers, and I think of Jason. Those are the three most iconic people that I think about when I think of horror in that slasher type of genre, and him not being in the game really sucks. I know DBD has wanted him for a very long time, so that is something that can definitely come into the game that will top pretty much everything that is already there. We know that this is super complicated though, with all of the lawsuits going around and who has the rights to what, so something like this might still be too complex and too early for us to get, and maybe we would have to wait for that in the next year. That brings us to our next candidate, who is Chucky. Chucky is super iconic, another one of those slasher horrors that just kind of works. With the release of Victor when Charlotte came out, or the twins I should say, we kind of see how Victor could have worked in that sense. We've seen that you could still have a little killer running around and survivors would still have a decent opportunity of tracking him. And then we also seen some wonderful fan-made concepts of how the power exactly could work, with Chucky hooking people, he can do possessions, etc. Something like this makes a lot of sense, and I could see it coming into the game. I'm not too sure why they've never actually went after the Chucky licensings. Maybe it's just too complicated to formulate the power, but I'm sure with all the brains on the team, they're more than likely to come up with a very unique and interesting power for the players to enjoy. Chucky has been one of those characters that we've speculated on for quite a while. We've made numerous videos saying that there's a good possibility of him coming into the game, but still, I think this one is a little bit more slim of a chance than someone like Jason, ironically, just because I think they're going after some bigger fish. What exactly are those bigger fish? Pennywise is next on the list. Pennywise is one of those characters that we've talked about so much. I think that something like this is up there with Jason on that level of just being iconic and interesting. Obviously, we already have a clown in the game and, you know, Deadlights. It's a little bit different. The only issue with this is that we know that it is so hard to get this DLC. It is so hard to get these conversations going and get something like this to work and to come into the game. Maybe one day down the line we'll see this. There's been theories saying that, you know, this was already kind of speculated. You know, this was an ongoing meme when I met Matthew Cote at New York City Comic Con. We took pictures of a kid cosplayed as Pennywise, you know. So they know that this is something that they really want. They've mentioned in past interviews that they really want this. So if they want to top some of the things that they've done in the past, this is definitely the route that they can go along. But we know with Stephen King, it's hard to get these IPs down and these licensings to actually come into other genres, as he's very picky with that. So hopefully in the future we could see something, but that's one of the winners or favorites, I should say, when it comes down to what I think is going to come into the game. Moving on, they have been sticking with the theme of video games recently. We obviously saw Resident Evil, we saw Silent Hill, and if we're sticking with that theme, I think a good surprise that they could toss in the mix is The Evil Within. We have seen numerous DLC type concepts with the Keeper coming into the game, and I think something like this would be absolutely amazing. I love the Evil Within. I love the Evil Within so much. I love the storyline, and there's not a lot of hype currently going around with the Evil Within because there's no new games coming out. We didn't really receive a lot of information since the previous one, but the Keeper would work so cool. We've talked about unique powers that this character could have, where his safe head could be on different places around the map, and he can essentially teleport to them and, you know, go and hit you with the mallet. I think something like that would be awesome. I think it would be huge, and it's another big gaming license that they could bring into the game. With these gaming licenses, it brings a lot of the gamers into Dead by Daylight, especially if it's something like Silent Hill like they did, or something like The Evil Within that hasn't had a lot of traction but still is a big title, as those players would then move into Dead by Daylight and find a new home. This is a great marketing strategy as well, and I think something like this could happen. That brings us to our last candidate. Obviously, there's a ton of honorable mentions. We have the Alien, we have Predator, we have so much other things that they could bring into the game. But the last character that I think could come into the game is FNAF. I'm personally not a biggest fan of FNAF. I think it does fit. You know, there's been a lot of concerns about different things. We obviously have the controversy with Scott. We have the player base. A lot of people have been making back and forth arguments though, saying that the player base has grown up and the kids that liked the game when it came out are now matured and grown up. When it just came out, I was a big fan of it. I looked at the first games. It just got too complicated. I didn't keep up with it, but that is indeed a good point. I don't know if this is something that could happen, but obviously the community really wants this. We've seen Leaks DBD make a entire post about this, making people vote on what they think could come into the game, or preferably what they would want. And this won overwhelmingly. It was over 50% of the people that wanted this. So clearly, people in the DBD community really want this. Now, again, there's a lot of controversy around this, and how exactly would this go down? How would it fit, etc.? We'll have to wait and see if they ever decide to do something like that. I honestly think this is the third most likely thing to come to the game. My top list essentially being number 1 is the Evil Within. I honestly think that that's something they could do. Number 2 would be Jason. Number 3 would be FNAF. Number 4 would be Chucky, and number 5 would be Pennywise. That's my list essentially of what I think is more than likely to come on in with the next anniversary event, and we'll have to wait and see. Just a fun little theory though I thought I put together for you guys. Not really a theory, but more just talking to you guys and building up the hype a little bit. We know, again, the Ring chapter is going to be coming out, so I'm expecting another license to come out when the 6-year anniversary is here. If they didn't have a license, I would assume they would have used this chapter as the, you know, placeholder essentially for that, but I honestly think they have something else big cooking, and we'll have to wait and see. But that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Just a nice little lighthearted, fun video for you guys. I'm back making content, as I said. I'm going to be going on vacation during the 14th to the 23rd, but I'll still be getting videos out for you guys and still be streaming during that time, so make sure you guys are up to date with that. We're also live on Twitch right now. Hopefully you guys can come out and have some fun with us. But that is going to do it for me. As always, I'm the King. I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fog.